And 7 days a week from midnight to 5 a.m. Each night on Coast to Coast, listeners are captivated by George Newry with discussions on news and current events, conspiracy theories, UFOs, life after death, and all things curious and unexplained. Whether you're working third shift or you're just a night owl, catch the most listened to overnight talk radio program in North America, Coast to Coast, every night, midnight to 5 a.m. right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
It is 9:06 on this Tuesday morning, and that means it is time for Cherie's Senior Showcase. Great information every month for all you great seniors here in the Elgin area and beyond in the Fox River Valley. And guests and great information about events and other things. We welcome to the program the one and only Cherie Aschenbrenner on this cold, cold day. Hi, Cherie Aschenbrenner.
Did I have an intro?
That was the intro. You didn't like it?
Mark's gonna work on it for me.
Yeah, I gotta
give me some music.
Gotta work on that. I'm not sure why your old intro.
Disco-ish. I like that.
Disco-ish? Okay.
Disco-ish.
Let me write some
next
notes.
month. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's pretty cold, but it isn't. I don't know. I get in the car in the garage. It's warm, and I drive, and I get out, and I park right front. So it wasn't too bad.
Right. I mean, if you're going from point A to point B and you're not hanging out,
I'm not hanging.
you can survive. You can survive.
I know.
Yeah.
So I do have a guest today, but as you know, I always start out with I got a couple of announcements to make. I just want to make sure that if you want to get on my email list so that you're aware of everything that's going on for seniors, such as events and scams and any announcements that seniors need to know, get on my email list. I got about 1,855 seniors on it. It's not hard. Just call me or email me and say, put me on it. Share the information if you get it too. If it's not pertinent to you, or you can always just pass it and, just delete it and move on. But
yeah.
I always try to keep you up to date on what is happening. So 847-289-2626. Give me a call, and I'll be happy to add you. I actually got a call, it was about Friday night at 4 o'clock from a 90-year-old.
At 4 o'clock in the morning?
No, 4 o'clock at night on a Friday. And he's like 90 out in Del Webb. Cherie, I want to be on your email list. I'm like,
really?
Sure. Right. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. I love it. Okay, my senior showcase is always the third Tuesday of every month at 9:05. And as you know, I have a guest today. Well, I'll announce in a minute. Next month, we're going to have Dr. Challa, Challa. He's a cardiologist with Sherman, Advocate Sherman, so he'll be on. Finally got him booked, so we'll look forward to that. We also have an Elgin Area Memory Cafe once a month, always the second Tuesday of every month, 4 to 5:30 at the South Elgin Public Works.
Yeah, and that's, I was talking about that a little bit earlier this morning.
I heard that.
Yeah, that's a sad story out of Lombard.
Yes, I heard that.
Where an 81-year-old man.
It was yesterday you were talking.
Yeah,
I did hear that.
I talked about it more this morning because we had there was a comment in the Daily Herald about that and how people that have dementia that are being cared for by a loved one sometimes need some extra help.
I know. Yeah, we'll talk about that today.
Yeah, I mean,
that is true because it gets frustrating.
Yeah.
And the people change. They do. They get mean. They can start swearing. Their personalities change. They ask you the same questions every 5 minutes. Yeah. It's a challenge.
You got to be patient. You got to know some tactics and things like that. And that's why some of these meetings where people that are suffering from similar situations in their families, it's important for them to talk and network a little bit, right?
Exactly. That's why this memory cafe is working. Yeah. We had 53 again this month.
Wow.
It's insane, but it's just amazing. We learned about nutrition and stuff, easier things to make for seniors with dementia, and how they can get their protein when they can't chew as well and this and anywhere. It was really good. Our next one is going to be obviously next month, February 11th, and we're going to have Taylor Spooner come and talk. She's an attorney. We've had a lot of requests about the power of attorneys and wills and what you better expect. So good speaker. So she'll be there on February 11th.
Okay.
And again, it's always the second Tuesday in South Elgin Public Works.
we have phone lines that you can call during the show today. 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. We're on YouTube at WRMN Radio on YouTube, and we have the Image 360 information line, 505-926-1410. The reason I mentioned the phone lines is because we have an early call this morning. So let's take a quick phone call before Cherie gets to the rest of her agenda.
Yep.
And we check in with our friend, good old Bob Balsamo.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob. Good morning.
Good morning. Reason why I'm calling this morning is I got a little note in the mail. Not a little note. I guess it was a general mailing to probably everyone in my zip code from a energy supply company. Somebody who wants to take over.
The third-party aggregate.
Right.
Yeah.
And they offered a $100 gift card for just calling and signing up.
Yeah, but there's fine print, and we always know that. And
But there was no fine print on this document.
No. Just call them. Yeah, just call them, sign up, give them your credit card. Let's go. Let's just change to a different company altogether that you know nothing about. But
anyway,
the enticement is that gift card, that may work.
Yeah, well, I like to check on these things, so I called. First thing I did was I called an electric company that, of course, that I do business with, which is ComEd. And they told me that their charge per kilowatt hour was something like 9 cents and something fraction. And so I called the other company, and the first thing they ask is, give us the number and your number on your bill. And so I will switch over. I said, oh, wait a minute.
Oh, they'll switch you. Yeah, just because you called.
I said, I want some information. What information do you want? I want to know what you want to charge per kilowatt hour.
Look at you, Bob. Way to go.
It was double.
Usually it's not. Usually it's less, and that gets you in.
I said, oh, wait a minute. I says, I'd have to be crazy. You know, we're talking about switching over for 9 cents to something like 18 cents per kilowatt hour. I said, that would be crazy. And the guy says, they're going to change it pretty soon, and it'd probably be right up there.
No, Bob, that gift card is what is enticing people, and you were smarter than that, and you checked it out. You did the absolute right thing. Star of the day. Ding, ding.
Yeah.
Ding, ding for Bob.
Good job, Bob.
There you go.
Okay.
There he goes. There. Way to go, Bob. Senior of the day.
I know.
Scam the scammer. Love it.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
See you, Bob. All right. Good story to start us off with this morning.
Gosh, and that's exactly why I get on my email list, because a lot of times when seniors send me things, I can send that out to the list, too, just to be on the lookout. So, Bob, if you're still listening, if you want, you can, if you want to take a picture of that and just send it to me, email. I can even put that out to the senior list just to beware, because they just and tell people. I mean, that you have a right to change, but you better know what you're doing, because you get signed into those. You're in there. You're locked in for 2 years. Then if you want to get out, then there's a $200 penalty, and there's a lot of little things they don't tell you. So
you tried to scam the wrong person.
that's dang right.
Try to sneak anything past Bob.
So we were back onto the dementia, and if anybody is interested, there is a virtual dementia tour that's going to come up on Wednesday, January 29th. It's 2 hours. If you guys know where Arden Courts is, it's on Bricker Road in Geneva. Just take Randall Road down to Bricker. It's going to be there. Like I said, 2 hours. You have to call and sign up. They put you through a tour. They put gloves on you. They put things in your shoes. They put glasses on you. They want you to get the real feel experience of what it feels like to actually have dementia. I know. I think it's almost scary. A little scary.
Yeah.
I think it would freak you out.
That would be weird, yeah.
But you know what? You know who it helps? Caregivers. So they understand who you're dealing with and the frustrations that people living with dementia are going through. So it's free if you want to go. You just have to sign up. And that's at Arden Courts on January 29th. You just call 630-262-3900.
630-262-3900.
Correct, yeah. The virtual dementia tour. Elgin Township Triad is having their first event Thursday, February 20th, so about 1 month. We have 50 signed up. We're only going to take 20 more because it's at the Elgin Township building. So it's a little smaller, you know, in the lower level of Elgin Township. We're not having it at Senior Services. We're having it at Elgin Township Building, 729 South McLean. We're doing that in February because of weather. You never know how the weather's going to be. If it's snow, it's easier to park there, not as far to walk there. So we're hosting it at the township. We are going to have Julianne DeBevick. She is with that Medicare Made ABC Easy
That's
group.
right. First Tuesday of the month, we have that show.
She's wonderful. And she's going to talk about long-term care insurance. Is it worth it? The pros and the cons. And she's also going to talk about some Medicare Advantage plans that dropped you, I guess, and didn't tell a lot of people. So she's going to fill you in on that information. And then at 11 o'clock to noon, the hidden cost of aging, important conversations you need to have about care and housing expenses. Ray Erkley is going to come with Edward Jones. And then you're going to get a complimentary lunch from Cafe Roma. I think it's chicken pomodoro and penne and brownies. And,
Wow.
You know,
Sounds fancy.
It's always good stuff, and it costs you nothing as a senior. So if you want to come, Thursday, February 20th, 10 o'clock till about 12:30, call Elgin Township, 847-741-2045. The girls there will take the reservations for the Triad event.
847-741-2045 for the Elgin Township.
Yep. And again, you get all this information, like this flyer for the Triad. You get the dementia the tour, that virtual tour. You get the memory cafe reminders. You get all that if you're on my email list. All them flyers are there for you. So I'm going to save what I have left if we have time at the end.
Okay.
Okay, because I want to introduce my guest, Kevin Hall. He is with Amada, A-M-A-D-A, Amada Senior Care in Elgin. Kevin is part of Elgin Township Triad now. He's on our group, and he's also a member of Dementia Friendly Elgin as well. He's our treasurer. So when I first met Kevin quite a few months ago, I didn't hear of Amada, and you know, I've been around a long time, Mark.
Yeah.
I'm like, you where? And I go, well, my God, I got to get him on here so he can talk about what Amada does and where he's located and how do you start. You know, here you are, you're looking for a little help in the home. You know, maybe you have someone with dementia and you're like, yeah, I just need a little help. I got to get out of the house. I got to go grocery shopping. I got to go to a doctor's. I need somebody to stay with my person, or I just, for myself, my kids want me to have somebody help me go grocery shopping, whatever. So Kevin Hall, tell us about yourself. Where you been? How'd you get involved?
Okay.
Yeah, you're from Elgin, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff. Okay, so first and foremost, good morning, Elgin. Thank you, Cherie.
Yeah.
I appreciate you both having me here. Let's see. So where are we at? Let's start there.
Yeah,
right?
where are you?
And we'll get to some of the questions you were.
Okay.
So we are right here in the community. We're at 75 Market Street, which is right behind Jewel High School on Larkin.
Okay.
Right. So there's a 2-story professional building with the tile shingles or the tile roof. We're in Suite 5 in that building.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. So going back, so where we come from, where we start. So let's make it simple. Let's go 2 stories. I'll start with Amada's story, where
Okay.
Amada came from. So Amada's been around since 2007.
Okay.
First started out west. I won't get the states because I don't want to lose the audience, but I'll
Okay.
say this. That one of the founders, a gentleman named Tafa Jefferson. Tafa played for the Bears. We were just talking about the Bears. He was an offensive tackle.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
crazy enough, right?
Wow.
He played.
They could use him now.
We definitely could use him. Yeah. His story ends as an offensive tackle. He actually had a bad shoulder and a bad ankle, but he played behind Big Cat Williams. So he would tell you himself he didn't get on the field a lot. Now, the reason I share Tafa's story is this. Tafa's mother was a caregiver his entire upbringing.
Okay.
Now, that's a key part to this story, and I'll come back to it momentarily. So Tafa played his 8-9-year career with the Bears. When he retired, he moved back out west, right, and gets his CNA license. Why do I say that? Because, guys, this space it's very critical. We're taking and providing care for your loved ones, right? So you want to work with people who choose to be in this space.
Right.
Tafa, as a well-to-do man at that point, chose to get his CNA license, and after about a year as a CNA, Tafa started Amada Senior Care.
Wow.
Fast forward all these years later, here we are in 2025. Good morning, everyone. And Amada Senior Care has over 200 locations across the U.S. We have 10 here in the state of Illinois. Amada Elgin, we started our journey in November of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll pause, right? Because I can be verbose and I'm very passionate about this topic. Let's see. So another question you shared is, okay, so if I am at home right now, listening to our conversation, and if I have some concerns, thoughts, or need some additional support, what do we do?
Yeah. Who do we call? How do we know who to call? How do we know who to trust?
That's
right. You're coming in my house.
This is true.
Right.
This is true. So really critical pieces there. So if you want to, or if you chose to call Amada, we're again right here in the community. You would call us at 630-948-4838. But more specifically, more importantly, to the questions you asked, you want to engage a caregiver or a caregiving agency. I won't be even partial to just Amada. That you can have build a relationship with. Why? Because of that trust factor. We were just talking a few moments ago about the fact that, well, what happens like on a morning like this? Thankfully, no snow,
right?
But it's really, really cold. And let's say your care provider, your caregiver, is calling you right now saying, hey, it's cold. I'm not going to be able to make it. Now what happens, right?
So you have a doctor's appointment that you have to go to.
Correct.
And now you have no caregiver.
Right. And now you're sitting there like, what do I do? Because I need to get to that appointment. Well, if you were working with us, what we do in that situation, if your caregiver is not available or if they call in to us saying they're not going to make it in, we have, as I just shared with you, we have floats. So we have hired help that are waiting for those situations so that we don't leave families high and dry. They can still get to their appointments. And more specifically, we can still provide quality care for the loved one.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I need to have some help in the home to help my spouse. Okay, so I call you.
Yep.
What do you do? Do you come out and interview us, or what, how does this work?
Yes, I send in, we send in some, no, let me stop. I don't want to tease. But to your point, yes. So what we will do, you call us and say, I need help. First thing we're going to do is ask you a battery of questions over the phone to get a little bit more details about your situation, your unique details. From there, after we get those details, and if it's a pleasant conversation for you as it is for us, we're going to ask for an opportunity to come into the home to meet you. Why? We want to build a bridge immediately with you as an individual. You as the individual, be you the loved one or you the adult child, because we want you to be very comfortable. Why is that? Because as you move down this process, let's make the assumption you've now selected a caregiving company and caregiver number one comes into your home, provides phenomenal care, but you don't make a connection. You just didn't like the individual. We have that bridge in place. You built that relationship with us initially. So you are not in a situation where you are now in a confrontation. Pick up the phone and say, hey, Kevin, hey, Amada, caregiver number one was phenomenal, but we just didn't connect. What we'll do is we'll reassign that caregiver and we'll assign a caregiver or have another caregiver come into your home.
Because you and I did talk about that, because I said maybe language is sometimes a barrier.
It can be for some.
If they can't understand
Yes.
the caregiver, it's frustrating, especially if they have dementia.
Yep.
The other thing is, too, I said, what if you, I'm requesting a male because my husband wants a male. I think that's what we need to understand, that you are.
So great point, Cherie. So you do have those options as well, right? We want to personalize the care to your individual needs, right? We're not a one-size-fits-all organization or agencies by saying, hey, I called the agency, we need care, and we're just to say, hey, how many hours you need, and we're sending someone. No, pause. We're going to take a step back because, guys, we're providing care in your home. It's equally critically as important to understand the social considerations as well as the care needs. Why? Because we don't want you feeling like a redheaded stepson in your own home, right? So we really want to understand the details of what's important to you. We build our care plan based on the goal established by either the family or be it the hospital or the skilled facility we might have met you.
Okay, so then you come in, and then first, if you happen to have long-term care insurance, some people do and don't understand it.
Yes.
Because you don't know what you've been paying for 15 years.
Yes.
And does this cover it?
Yes. Okay, great question.
Yeah.
So I will tell you, and I'm an advocate, right? So one of the things we say at Amada, we're America's trusted resources for caregiving as well as long-term care insurance claim advocacy. Why? To Cherie's point, there's a lot of seniors. I'm gonna share a scary statistic, but it's true. Let's say the reality in the country is about 20% of seniors carry long-term care insurance.
Yeah.
Here's the fact. About 90%, I'm going to say that again, about 90% of seniors never successfully engage that policy. So to Cherie's point, let's say you've been paying for a policy for 15, 20 years, right? And today I need some help because I need some care. How do I activate it? A lot of agencies will tell you we'll accept it as a form of payment because, yes, that is a way to pay for care. What we do differently for you, we will give you a free expert long-term care insurance claims policy review. What does that do for you? We do that as a compliment. We want to help you understand very clearly what you purchased, and equally as important, how to successfully activate that claim. Right? And here's the reality, folks. When you call your insurance company, be it for home care or even auto insurance, likely you're calling on an automated line. And this is not a negative shot against the insurance companies. This is just a fact. When you call the insurance company on that automated or that recorded line, they could ask you questions that could potentially disqualify your claim. So that's why we say if you have long-term care insurance, please, even if you don't choose to work with us as a caregiving company, let us do that complimentary policy review for you so that you know what you purchased and how to successfily activate it.
Yep. Yeah. What a waste if you don't know.
Oh my!
When you've been paying for years and you don't know what you did.
The other side of that story, it's what and this is a shot at seniors, right? And I love my seniors, right? But we say this. Well, I've been paying for it, Kevin, for 15 years, and now I might have a need today, but I'm still thinking in the back of my head, I'm reserving it for when I need a facility.
Right.
Listen, guys.
We'll save it.
Thank you. I'm going to save it, right? I'm going to save it to the next. And what happens is tomorrow isn't promised for any of us.
Right.
You've been paying on that policy for 15, 20 years. You need the care today.
Right.
Why don't you work with someone who can help you understand how your policy works and most importantly, how to maximize it for you and restore or have benefits available for those concerns that you have as well. Yeah.
You also work with veterans, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. So thank you for that. We are a veteran company serving veterans. So as I speak to you all, my daughter is in Abilene, Texas. She is in the Air Force. She is 6 years in. She is a sergeant. Let that be what that is. But yes, we are fortunate enough to be one of the approved providers for the VA here in our area. Now, I will tell you as well, a shock. A lot of veterans don't even know, Cherie, that they qualify for benefits.
I know.
And that those benefits would give them free care in home. I'm going to say that again. Free care in home. Literally, look, we wouldn't be on this conversation. We wouldn't have had the day that we just had in Washington yesterday if it wasn't for your service. So at least let us serve you back and help you tap into those benefits that you deserve, right? And so yes, we definitely provide those services. Now, to Cherie's point, I'm just going to go here, right? So you take something like long-term care insurance, you take something like a VA benefit, you take something like life insurance. These are all different tools that can fund care. We call ourselves funding source experts. Why is that important to you? It's important to you because care isn't free, guys. I'll tell you, here in Elgin, here in our area, most care is going to be between $36 and $44 an hour. I'm going to slow down and say that again.
Yes.
$36 to $44 an hour. Now, I always advise seniors to the following. If you call an agency and you hear something significantly higher than 44, run. If you call agencies and you hear something significantly less than 36, run. Now, I also want to clarify this. There is a difference. I'm a straight shooter. We love what we do, but I want to let you know there are a lot of good quality independent caregivers out here, right? There's going to be about a 50% cost difference between an independent versus an agency.
Okay.
Now, but let's understand the differences, and let's go back to
and we're going to talk about that in a minute because we got to go to a commercial. See how fast it goes?
It does.
I know. We'll be back.
We'll be right back. Well, you're a little bit ahead of the game, but we are heading to the bottom of the hour break here in just a moment. And Cherie's Senior Showcase here on this Tuesday morning. And we want to say good morning to someone who's on YouTube with us this morning. That would be our friend Kathy Bilski.
Oh, Kathy.
Morning.
Kathy's viewing on Facebook.
Kathy, she comes to all our events.
I saw her note in the chat. Good morning.
Yeah, so thanks for watching, Kathy. And call us in the next half hour if you would like to talk to our guest Kevin this morning or Cherie Aschenbrenner at 847-931-1410. I'm going to keep my eye on the YouTube comments and also the Image 360 information line, 505-926-1410. It's Cherie's Senior Showcase right here on WRMN. Stay tuned.
This is WRMN News.
Former President Biden had a final message for his supporters and staff before leaving Washington, telling them, quote, "No president gets to choose the moment they enter history, but they get to choose the team they enter history with."
And you represent the best of who we are as Americans. That's not a joke. That's real. Now, while we relied on your ideas and resolve and counsel, we also relied on your families. To all your families, thank you for the sacrifices you made. I mean it.
The former president and first lady then flew to California, ending his more than 50-year political career. President Trump promised a number of executive orders during his inauguration speech inside the Capitol Rotunda. He wasted no time in signing dozens of them.
Today I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense.
The president had a special desk set up at the Capital One Arena so he could sign some of his first orders in front of his supporters. The president went on to sign orders removing the U.S. from the World Health Organization, the Paris Climate Accord, ordering federal employees to work from their offices, not from home, imposing a freeze on new federal hiring, and declaring a national emergency at our southern border. For WRMN News, I'm Dennis Green. For more news and analysis on stories like these, listen to Apolitical Talk Show on WRMN.
WRMN News, produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
Are you dreaming of a getaway? Want to leave the stress of daily life behind? Whether it's a relaxing cruise or an adventurous land escape, planning the perfect vacation doesn't have to be a hassle. At Cruises International, they specialize in vacation destinations, land and sea, making your dreams come true. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, Cruises International isn't just about booking travel. They're your personal concierge, trusted travel advisor, and advocate. Your preferences are unique, and they'll take the time to understand exactly what you're looking for. From personalized service to their global network of specialists, they ensure that your vacation is tailor-made just for you. It's time to plan the vacation of a lifetime. Call 800-255-7447. That's 800-255-7447 today and speak to a cruise and vacation expert. Cruises International. It's time to set sail to your dream destination.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Today, a slight chance of snow showers before 9 a.m., then sunny with a high near zero. It feels like minus 29 with gusty winds up to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around minus 1, temperatures rising to around 4 overnight. Currently, it is minus 8 with mainly clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a Breakfast Baconator. Roll with a sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a Honey Buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Cherie's Senior Showcase continues here on this Tuesday morning. WRMN AM 1410, WRMN Radio on YouTube. And we're talking about Amada this morning. And we got trivia coming up in about 15 minutes, right, Cherie?
Yes, we do. Got a nice little prize, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
But we cut Kevin off at the bottom of the hour. So, Kev, what was you were talking about? We were talking about the long-term care and the veterans.
And the differences between an independent and and an agency.
Yes.
So we were talking about the cost difference, right? Because dollars and cents matter.
Right.
So you're going to get 50% less expensive when you're engaging in an independent versus an agency. And guys, hey, for those that need that difference, I get it. But I want you to understand the difference in the why. So in an independent situation, let's say you do have a long-term care insurance. I will tell you, I've looked at A lot of long-term care policies, they will call out very clearly that you have to be working with the licensed agency, right?
Right.
And if you're not, right, they're likely not going to provide
So, like,
funding.
what you're saying, like, is like I have a Polish lady that does this
that
on
I
the
love.
side.
She goes to my church.
Right,
She could be phenomenal.
Right.
And no knock against her, but if you have a long-term care insurance policy, they might not recognize that care.
Because she's not licensed.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Now, another difference in the situation with independent, we were just talking about, let's say if I'm an independent care provider and I provide phenomenal care, and I'm sick this morning, right? The difference there is oftentimes in those independent situations, there might not be a cavalry, right,
Yep.
waiting in the office to provide some additional care.
Yeah.
And so those will be a couple differences.
The pros and cons.
Yeah, the pros and cons. And again, no knock, because now I will also say this, in an agency like Amada, all of our care providers are employees, right? They're not contracted. What does that mean to you and why is that important? They're licensed, bonded, insured through Amada Senior Care, right? They've been background checked, not just in the state of Illinois, nationally. Why does that make a difference? Because again, guys, we don't want people coming into your home that we don't know or feel comfortable with. I would never put your family in a situation that I wouldn't want my family in, right? That's the same thing we commit to caregivers. I would never ask a caregiver to do something that I'm not myself comfortable with. I started this journey, Cherie, and I don't know if I shared this with you, in college, right? So in college, I used to work for, I won't say the name of the company, but I'll say this. I work with mildly severe handicapped adults, teaching them their activities of daily living. I worked in like a group home setting. So there might be 5 to 7 adults in the home. What I learned all the way back then, because I'm so old, right? I'm teasing, but I learned, right? I learned that some of the best people that you can work with, right? Like all they wanted was your undivided attention and they really wanted to grow every day. Love that. But you also saw the sad side, which is why I'm here today. Unfortunately, you saw that some folks in that situation get taken advantage of, just like our seniors. And who's advocating for them, right? So that's the reason that kind of prompted me to come here and get into this space.
So tell the people what kind of services does Amada provide?
Gotcha. So we have services that would include or impact what we call activities of daily living.
Okay.
So what are those? That's bathing, dressing, toileting, mobility, meal prep, laundry, like all these different things that it can be something that's companionship, transportation, medication reminders, light housekeeping.
Can you administer medicine?
So that's a great question. Yeah. In the state of Illinois, what we can do as a non-medical agency is we can assist, so be it hand over hand. There's a lot of things that we can do to assist an individual take medications, but unfortunately, it is deemed a medical procedure if I take a pill and put it into your mouth, right? So that is not something we can directly do, but there's definitely ways that we assist people taking meds every day.
Okay, so you can put it in their hand and tell them to put it in their own mouth.
I could put it in their hand. I could put it into a cup. I can even take their hand and guide their hand all the way to this point. Right?
Okay.
It's just
you can't put it in.
Because legally, again, we like our license, guys. We want to, we want to make sure we're respectable to that.
That's interesting.
It is. It is.
What if somebody needed like a shot or something? Then they'd have to have some kind of a nurse come to the house?
Usually, so that's we work in very great partnership with folks like hospice organizations or even home health. What is home health, Kevin? Home health is physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. Usually, if I'm discharging from a hospital, let's say I do need injections as well as caregiver support, usually your discharging nurse or the social worker is going to discharge you with a home health agency.
Right.
They're going to come into the home 1 to 3 times a week to help with those needs.
Okay.
We partner very well with them to assist in the gaps where they don't provide care.
I see you do transportation. So that means that if somebody needed to go to a doctor, you would take them?
So yes, we do that. We found that there's a need in our community for folks that need to get to
transportation is huge.
Yep, and we've heard horror stories. So yes, we do that, but we also have caregivers who once we're hired and working with the family, they take folks to and from doctor's appointments. They run errands as well.
And what's kind of nice about that is they can sit with you, right?
Yes.
And wait, because if you do, and if you have to take the ride and cane, you call. You need like 24 or 48 hours notice. The bus comes get you. The bus takes you. You get done, but you might have to sit another hour until that bus comes back to get you.
Correct.
That's what it is.
That's the reality.
Yeah. So your person would take them and sit with them, and then go get the car and go bring them. Okay.
Home. Yep. And it could be one of two ways. Either we can, if you have your own vehicle, A care provider could come and drive you in your car, right? You have a vehicle that you're comfortable with. Or if you don't, we have caregivers. Clearly, they have vehicles and they can take you in their vehicle as well.
All right.
Yeah.
What about grocery shopping? They can take them to the grocery store, or maybe you don't want to go and you just give your girl or guy a list.
So great question. Now that's a double-edged question. So I'll say this. I've had a lot of seniors that say that, well, I just want you guys to come in and help me with help me get some groceries. And so how we help that process is twofold. So to simply answer your question, yes, we have caregivers who will go with an individual to the grocery store and we go through the aisles and we'll get everything you need. Or if we don't want to do that, we show seniors how to take something like an app, like a Jewel-Osco app, right? Jewel-Osco, guys, focus. But all right, that might come back up later. But we'll show you how to take an app, get everything that you need ordered on that app, so that we minimize the necessity to have you not safe going up and down the aisles.
Right.
So we'll get all that taken care of. We also minimize the need to hand funds to another individual. All that could be handled on your phone or on the care provider's phone.
You would show them how to do that online.
Show them how to do it, and then we get in the car together, pull up to the grocery store. They bring the groceries out to us.
Yeah.
We go back to the home, get them in the house, and let's cook a meal, right? So yeah.
So they'll even cook for you.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
They could even make. Let's talk about that because you and I did earlier. Hours.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about the hours.
Okay,
Yeah.
So to that point, in Elgin, and not just Elgin, so we cover at Amada Elgin, we go from here all the way over to Rockford and so on and so forth. Now, you were asking.
I want to know, so the hours, minimum hours. A lot of times somebody, when you call, yes, I've heard it. People will say, well, I'm going to hire this company, but they said I have to have them for 3 hours a day.
Oh.
Maybe I don't want 3 hours a day. Maybe I just want to go get to the doctor. I just need an hour, but you have to pay for 3 hours.
Gotcha. So to that end, we're one of the few agencies here in the area that we don't have minimums, right? Where we start is at the goal. What's the goal of care? And we build a plan from there. Now, I will tell you this side. I don't want to disparage any agency. I just want you guys to know the truth, right? We want to provide you clear information so you understand why people take these positions. For agencies, right? Caregivers are just like you and I, right? Particularly those of us that are still working, right? You're working, you want a full-time work.
Right, you want 40 hours.
You want 40 hours if you can get it. Now, caregivers are going to prioritize the longer hour cases because they want to provide for their families. A lot of agencies make the decision or take the position of, hey, if you're not going to need care at least 3 days a week for 4 hours a day, we're not going to provide you care, right? And I understand that because cases that are less hour than that are harder to staff.
That's right.
Amada says those agencies that take that position, we get it because those are harder cases to staff, but they leave an opportunity for us to provide a need for our community. Because to your point, I might not need 3 hours of care.
Right. I know I've had a senior once where they came and he's like, I don't even know what to have them do.
Yes.
But then they're like, well, they can clean a little bit or they can cook. Well, I don't want them to do that. So then they sat, but because they have to be there for 3 hours and they're just sitting on the couch looking at their phone or watching TV because there's nothing to do.
Right, and this is where it comes back down to what we said going back to the beginning. When you're calling to engage an agency, the reason why we want to take a step slower to learn what's important to you so that we minimize that situation where the caregiver's sitting on the couch playing with their thumbs.
Right.
We've already engaged, understand the things that we can do here in the home. We built that in the care plan. So now everyone's happy.
Right, because you are paying, this is private pay,
Yes.
So you got to get your money's worth of when they do come, what you need done.
And we don't shy away from that, right? We make sure the caregiver understands that. It's like, listen, if I'm paying my hard-earned money, I want to make sure I'm getting the value for it, right? And so that's a two-way street.
Because even something like that, let's say there was an event at Senior Services, they're gonna have their Valentine's Day party or something, and maybe you wanted to go, and then you need your caregiver could make but you don't drive, so maybe your caregiver could take you to that.
Yep. Yes, they can.
Okay.
You could have like in that situation, a caregiver could take you to it, join, and not only join you. Heck, if you would have let them know that this is where we're going. Let's say we're going to a Halloween party. They're gonna wear a costume as well. You guys can go as like the combo. So it's a team approach, and that's the thing as well. It's like when you hire a caregiver, they'll become a part of the family relatively quickly, right? So that's why it's critically important to engage companies that's going to take the time to get to know you. I'll tell you this. We also try to be very clear about minimizing the number of people that come to your home. We will never send a caregiver into your home that you've not met, right? We do meet and greets. That's another one of our differences. So we would never send a caregiver into your home without that person coming through the door with someone that you've met before.
Right, I like that. And then you try to get the same caregiver, right? So when your person gets used to someone.
So as to her point, yes.
Yeah.
So depending on the hour of the case, right, we typically will assign 1 to 3 caregivers to a case.
Okay.
Why is that? We have your primary person because that's the person that's the primary. I think we get primary.
Right.
We have a secondary person because life happens.
Right.
We have a tertiary individual because let's say life happens to caregiver 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to leave you in the situation that we were just discussing. I got to get to work.
Right.
You can't make it.
Right.
Don't worry, we have someone coming your way.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's good. We are going to take a little break here. Right, we're going to do our trivia question. And Kevin Hall, why don't you hold up and tell people what the gift is if you get the correct?
If you see, we just said a few minutes ago, if you were listening, we said Jewel Osco, hint, hint. There is something in my hand that I think would help us get some things at Jewel Osco. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a gift card.
$25.
$25. That give me something today.
That's right. $25 gift card if you can get the correct answer, Mark.
Get some cheap chicken?
You can.
That's on Mondays, isn't it?
Monday's cheap
$5.99.
chicken day, yeah.
Cheap chicken
It
day.
is. It is.
And a lot more.
Tomorrow, get your U coupons clipped.
We were just talking about. Yes. Yeah. And hold them accountable if they don't.
Yeah, I do. I
Make
spent a lot of
sure.
time in the customer service line, believe me.
Make sure you pay attention to the cashier.
Yes.
When you're at the Jewel.
Yes.
But otherwise, aside from that little mishap every once in a while, Jewel's a great place.
It is. It is.
So give us a call right now at 847-931-1410 if you want to try trivia today and win a $25 gift card at Jewel Osco. 847-931-1410. We got, it looks like maybe one line free, 3 already on the line. Taking it way back, as we often do with this trivia. This is pretty random, but I had to pick something.
Okay.
Elginite Walter Ford had this with him from 1918 to 1944 when it was removed by his wife. What was it? Was it A, shrapnel, B, a baby tooth, C, a photograph of a former girlfriend, or D, the first dollar he ever earned?
Ooh. No idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
I'm no help here.
Me neither.
It's a total guess.
Yep.
847-931-1410. Let's just take the calls in order here instead of rolling the dice. Let's start with Westside Freddie this morning.
Okay.
Hey, Westside, how you doing?
Hey, how you guys doing
We're
today?
good.
Excellent.
Good to hear you, Cherie.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, wow, man. Why me? I'm going to say 4. I think I've heard this on the 4, so, or D.
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 Take my dollar away.
His wife took the first dollar he ever earned. Man. Survey says.
Oh.
All right.
It's terrible when you have to go first, isn't
I
it,
know.
Westside?
I know.
Yeah.
We were hoping for you.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks a lot.
Westside. All right, Westside
guys.
Freddie going down with our first try of the day. That brings us to Raging Richard.
Okay.
He's had success with this
He
before.
does. He calls every month.
Yeah. Good morning, Raging Richard.
That would be my guess.
That
Yeah.
was your guess? Well, good thing you didn't go
Well,
first.
You're wrong. You gonna try another one?
Sure.
Okay. Did she take shrapnel? That's A. B, a baby tooth, or C, a photograph of a former girlfriend from him? Raging Richard, you with us?
Shrapnel. No, not shrapnel. The picture.
A photograph of a former girlfriend, says Raging Richard. Survey says.
I was hoping to.
Wrong.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Thanks, Richard.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right. Next caller up is this caller. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning. Mean Gene.
Mean Gene.
What's happening, buddy?
Mean Gene graduated with me, just so you know. He's my age.
Class of 82.
Class of 82.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
East Side Pride.
East Side Pride.
East Side Pride.
All right.
Well, what do you think, Mean Gene? What did you learn back in 1982?
Baby tooth.
A baby tooth, says Mean Gene. Survey says...
That's every month. We go
Every
to
time.
4.
Every time.
That's close.
Like the last 3 months, we always get it's the 4th time.
Gotcha. Oh,
Man, it's tough. They're
Sorry,
tough.
Mean Gene. Thanks for trying.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you for calling.
Bye. All right. Well, that lands the gift in the good old
guess
hands
so.
of good old Bob, our first caller of the day.
That works.
Bob's back.
Call back again. Hey, Bob.
How about that? Even a blind squirrel will find a nut once in a while.
Yeah. Elginite Walter Ford had shrapnel with him that was going to be Raging Richard's gas.
And he switched.
Yeah. From 1918 to 1944, it was removed by his wife.
Wow.
Let's see. World War I, Ford had shrapnel lodged in his neck for nearly 30 years. His apparently persistent wife eventually removed the metal fragment with a pair of tweezers.
Wow.
The Fords lived at 616 North Porter Street.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
And Bob gets the $25 gift card to Jewel. I'll probably see you there, Bob, because I'm there every Wednesday. First day of the U coupons.
See? All right, Bob, we'll set it aside for you. Congratulations.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Okay,
Take care.
bye.
All right, good old Bob actually called
Funny.
with a scam early in the show, so he deserved to win
That's
a Jewel
right.
card today.
Well, yeah.
He provided some information.
Outsmarted the scammer.
Yep.
Okay, so
Okay.
one more time. So Amada Senior Care is located at 75 Market Street, Suite 5 in Elgin. And what is your phone number?
630-948-4838 or 1-800-AMADA-65.
Amada 65. So when you call, do you pretty much answer?
We answer our phones 24/7, 365.
You answer your phone 24/7, 365 days a year.
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
We do.
Well, that's a first.
Yeah. Crazy. I know it's crazy. It's crazy. Our office hours standard are 9 to 5, but usually if it's outside of the office hours, if I don't pick up, I'll get the message and I'll call you back.
Okay.
Yeah. And what was the phone number one more time? I'm typing it on our YouTube feed.
630.
Yes, sir.
948.
Okay.
4838.
4838.
Yes, sir.
All right. It'll be up on YouTube if you're watching the show today.
What kind of training do your caregivers go through?
Yeah. So great question. So we have caregivers. So we have annual training. We are what they call A+ certified by the Home Care Standards Bureau. What does that mean? So we're in a licensed state, everyone. That's a good thing, right? We go one state over to like Indiana. It's not a licensure state. So that means Cherie and I, we could leave here right now, go to Indiana, say that we want to start a home care business. We could be in business.
Oh.
In the state of Illinois, there's a licensure process. So there is a standard of care. We're A+ certified by the Home Care Standard Bureau, so we will go above that standard. But to answer your question, that means there's a myriad of trainings that caregivers have to go through over the course of 12 months. So our caregivers engage in all of that. But we have caregivers that work for us that are CNAs, that are former nurses, that are current nurses, that are former doctors in other countries. I won't even get into that long story. But caregivers come from a varied background. Some of them have very designated specific medical training. Some of them don't. Here's the primary thing that makes us select a caregiver to work with our organization. You have to have the compassion and the commitment to provide care first, right? Because we can train you. Right? Now, we have caregivers who doesn't have any of those designations or degrees, Cherie, but they've been providing quality care for 15, 20 years.
Yeah, because a lot might say, yeah, I've been caring for my grandparents. I've been caring for my parents for a long time.
Yes.
I like it.
But to your question more specifically, in that situation, that happens every day. Where we have to make sure we're providing training and constant training is around cognitive changes. Right. So if you are a person or have a family member that is in cognitive decline, what do you mean? There's a change to the way they use their brain. So if I have Parkinson's, if I have dementia, if I have Lewy body, if you start to see some changes, we have to make sure we're training people to understand those changes. I'll leave this one piece and then I'll stop. So stop me. One thing I hate to see when I go into a family's home, and I always try to nudge them, particularly when we're working with folks with cognition. Guys, if you have a loved one who has recently lost the ability to drive as a result of changing cognition, The last thing you want to be doing is constantly reminding that individual, well, you know you can't drive, right? Because that puts them in a position of defense, right, of disconcern.
And they feel bad enough as it is because you just took their dignity and their freedom, all that away.
Yes, I see it happen oftentimes with husbands and wives. I won't say who does it to the other more, but I'll just say,
you can't drive.
And the same thing with caregivers, though. Like, you don't argue with a person based on what they're dealing and seeing in cognition changes, right? That only heightens their frustration. So that takes specific training. So we do provide training in those
And you
spaces.
probably do the CPR. They got that has to be basic, right?
Yes, that's a prereq. Right, it's a prereq. You can't come through the door if you can't do some of those basic things. And like I say, we will actually go through the steps in the office to go skill by skill to make sure you're comfortable and confident.
You got to put some of your staff through that dementia training, the virtual tour.
I saw that. I want to go through that first. I think it will be super cool. I've not done it. I've been on. It's been crazy. Busy.
Yeah, I do think that is definitely something that if you are in that business, you should do it.
Or if you have a loved one
you're living at home and taking care of your spouse,
then you'll get it right once you understand that the cross that they're bearing.
You wouldn't shoot them like the guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Where was it?
In Lombard.
But it's hard. There's no one is going to diminish how hard it is taking care of someone at home. A caregiver is 24/7, and it never ends, and you never get a break, and you just don't understand it until you're doing it.
They must not have dementia-friendly Lombard.
They must not.
No.
I know. I don't know if they do. It's not as solid as dementia-friendly Elgin. I'm telling you. Telling you guys, it's a really good group.
Yeah,
really good group.
is.
We're in a good city.
Yep. So, how many minutes we have?
We have about 2.5.
Then I just want to
About
touch 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And let me just remind you, too, that if you have a dog or a cat or some kind of a pet, and maybe you just went through some rehab, and you get home and you can't really take them for a walk, or you can't help them clean the litter box, or maybe they have to go to the vet, administer some kind of pet's medication, Anderson Humane can help you do that. Especially if you're in a temporary hospital stay too, maybe you are in a rehab still. Again, Anderson Humane can try to find foster pets for your home, for your pet, so that you don't have to worry about that. So keep that in mind for Anderson Humane. Elgin Township, they're always collecting pet food, again, for your cat and dog, for seniors who are 65 and older, if they're having trouble trying to pay for some of the food. Maybe they're getting Meals on Wheels and they're giving some of their food to the pet. Don't do that. Elgin Township's got bags of food for cats and dogs, tons of it. I was just there for Triad last Thursday, and they do have quite a bit still. So if you need it, it's there for you. If you'd like to donate it, they take it. And they take only new and unopened bags and cans of dog and cat food. So you can just drop that off over at Elgin Township, 729 South McLean Boulevard in Elgin, 8 to 4. And if you're a senior and maybe you can't get out to pick it up, they will drop it off to you. So that's even very nice. Nice. And then also I told you about our Triad event in February. And then just keep in the back of your mind that we're having a really big one in March, too. We're going to have it downtown here at the center of Elgin, 100 Symphony Way. And that's going to be 9 to noon, 12:30. 9, we're having all of our Triad vendors, about 40 of them are going to have vendor tables over there. So get a lot of information. Get a little bag. You probably have a tote and fill it up with all the tchotchkes and all the info. 10 o'clock, Steve Burness from the president and CEO of Better Business Bureau is going to do a little presentation about how to report scams and how to search for what you need. You need a plumber, you need a roofer. How do you search that? And he's going to show you. And then the Elgin Police Department is going to bring their canine dog, Ace. He's a drug dog, and they're going to do a little demo. And also going to bring Chance and Charm, the therapy dogs, and then lunch. So lots to do. Just get on my list, and we'll help you. If you need Kevin, call with Amada. You got still questions about that, Mark put the phone number up on YouTube. You can always call me, too, and I can get you to Kevin as well.
All right. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you, Kevin.
Thank you for having us. Thank you as well.
Cherie Senior Showcase right here on WRMN.
Okay.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that